First up this evening, a quick update on Karnataka Politics, Vasudha, and the state's cabinet meet, which on a rare occasion was held at the pristine and scenic Nandi Hills outside of Bengaluru and designed to send a message of focus on Chikbalapur and Kolar districts. Took place today. Major announcements there, including multiple projects, and it came in the midst of the media focus that remained on Congress's political equations, with Chief Minister Siddaramaiah declaring categorically that he'll complete this 5-year term, and DK Shivkumar backing the CM and saying, "What option do I have?"
Well, that's right, Veera. There's never a full stop for the drama that keeps happening in Karnataka politically. Now, both leaders, DK Shivakumar and Siddaramaiah, have repeatedly sent out these messages of unity, but speculation over power tussle doesn't cease. This morning, too, what happened was that in an apparent damage control effort, a video of Congress MLA B.R. Patil apologizing for his remarks against the Chief Minister was leaked to the media. Remember, B.R. Patil's comments were seen by the Congress High Command for sparking the latest round on the power tussle. The cabinet meet at Nandi Hills that we're talking about in some ways hopes to change the narrative that have been made by some of these big announcements.
That's right, Vasudha. The Chief Minister declaring that 3,400 crores worth of development projects were discussed and declared, and that there is no shortage of funds, underlining that there is no shortage of funds there after the cabinet meeting. Also as expected, Bengaluru Rural will now be renamed Bengaluru North. The areas around the airport have had a huge boom in prices, and the effort to rename this was primarily to boost the image of the area, making it part of the urban megapolis. But let's first listen in to the political comments from the Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister, and also Deepak Bopanna outlines for us news from that cabinet meet.
ನೀವು ತಾವು 5 ವರ್ಷ ಸಿಎಂ ಆಗಿರ್ತೀರಿ. ಹೌದು, ನಾನೇ. ಈಗ ಅವ್ರು ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ನವಂಬರ್ಗೆ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ ಸರ್. ಯಾರು? ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಅವರು, ಜೆಡಿಎಸ್ ಅವರು ಸರ್. ಅವರು ನಮ್ಮ ಹೈಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಅಶೋಕ್ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ.
I have to stand by him, I support him, and I don't have any objection to it. Whatever the party recommend does, and whatever he decides, it will be fulfilled.
You mean, sir, currently the party is not backing you, sir, right now, because your supporters said you have sacrificed so much for the party. You brought the party to power in the state.
I don't want to discuss anything.
Well, with the kind of statements that have come in from Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and the Deputy Chief Minister DK Shivakumar, it's very clear that the High Command for now has managed to somewhere contain the situation. Now, the operative word here is contain, because this is something that could explode, or should I rather say implode, is the question, because aspirations are not dead. From the statement of Mr. DK Shivakumar is very clear when he says, "I have no option but to right now comply." That means there is, of course, an aspiration, but at the moment he does not probably sense an opportunity, and when there is no opportunity to push harder would only mean that it could create problems for him within the party in the future as well, not just now. As far as the High Command is concerned, they're left with two options at this point in time: whether they will actually go ahead and make a change because of this chorus that's growing.
Well, media focus, of course, only on the political speculation, but the cabinet's focus was more about announcements for that area and those projects there, Vasudha. Meanwhile, a more serious issue in the state after the suspension of senior IPS officers in the Bengaluru Stampede case. The Karnataka government today moved the High Court challenging the order of the Central Administrative Tribunal revoking the suspension of senior IPS officer Vikash Kumar Vikash in connection with the June 4th Stampede incident that claimed 11 lives in Bengaluru.
That's right, Veera. Remember, 2 other IPS officers, including Bengaluru's former police commissioner B. Dayanand, were suspended by the government after the stampede, and the centre has also approved the transfers. But there are serious questions that were raised then, and strong opposition was also raised from the IPS lobby over the suspension of senior officers pending an investigation.
The case, Vasudha, is important from multiple standpoints. It's rare for ADGP rank officers to be suspended for incidents of this nature. A transfer okay, but a suspension extreme, many would argue. Joining us this evening, former IPS officer Bhaskar Rao from the BJP, Kapil Madan, advocate at the Supreme Court who supports the Congress, and also retired IPS officer BL Vora joins us. My first question was to, is to Mr. Kapil Madan, sir. When it comes to both the center also not stepping in as far as the orders of suspension are concerned, when the Congress government is now, the state government is now challenged in the High Court, the CAT order, it tends to leave IPS officers without any political support. There seems to be a rift growing within the IPS officer, between the IPS officers lobby and the government on this issue.
So you'll have to unmute
Mr. Madan.
yourself.
If you
You'll have to
look at
unmute
the
yourself.
entire sequence of events, if you look at the entire sequence of events, one thing is very, very clear, that the Karnataka government is not acting without, they're not acting with, any kind of fear or a favor. They're proceeding ahead transparently. And allow me to make point number two. If you'll ask legally about the suspension, let's be very clear and let's educate our viewers that this is not a verdict. It is more of a procedural safeguard, because we all know it is the police who is investigating the offenses. And once you show and you take, a strict action like this, it also gives a message to the people, to the public, that the government is not trying to cut any corner. The government is not taking any administrative lapses casually, and they are determined to move ahead and would ensure that there is a free and a fair and a thorough investigation. And during that investigation, whomsoever is found to be responsible for negligence, be it any private individual or be it any government servant or any police official, the action will be taken. And I think they are proceeding ahead with the same intent. I think we are trying to, read too much politically into it. I think it's very normal and it's very obvious that you take action if
Kapil
there
Madan,
is a
point
case of
taken.
dereliction of duty.
All right, you made your point. Mr. Bhaskar Rao joins us. Sir, you have personally taken a very strong position when the suspension order was issued. But despite the BJP state unit questioning it, the centre has ratified the suspension. Where do the IPS officers have any support from the political establishment at all on this case?
No police officer has any support from anywhere, even from his colleagues or from an association or from anywhere. He has to just fend for himself, come what may. All the tamjam and glory looks nice as long as it is going on, but when crisis hits, I have myself experienced, and I've also seen the plight of my seniors, and now I'm seeing the plight of my juniors. They have to fend for themselves, they have to approach the court, or they have to approach friendly politicians to see that order is restored. In this case, Vikash was very bold enough, I really admire, that he approached the Central Administrative Tribunal and he was able to secure justice because the proper procedure was not applied and nor was any natural justice afforded. Whereas other IPS officers chose to watch and wait if the CM develops a change of heart and comes around. Because if you want to exist in the cadre to hold an executive post, the goodwill of the chief minister is extremely important. So to that, you are at the mercy of the political executive at each step. But some people can be really bold and courageous.
Right, that's a very important point that you're making. Mr. Vora, as a former IPS, how do you look at this? Because, for the tribunal to give out some incriminating observations saying that there was no material evidence for the suspension or for the action that was taken, what does this mean for the IPS lobby?
It's very unfortunate. It was very wrong on the part of the state government to do it. I agree with Mr. Bhaskar Rao, not as a BJP spokesperson, but as a former police officer. I think it was very unfair, very unjust. Here's police which recommends, please do not hold this solicitation for a few days, because police needs to make arrangements, collect manpower basically. It takes time. As the High Court, as the tribunal has observed, police doesn't have a magic wand. They are not magicians. In spite of the recommendation of the police to postpone it, the state government went ahead. The RCB was a culprit. They put it on social media. More than 3 lakhs people came in a stadium which can hold only 35,000 people. The CM and the deputy CM, they also felicitate these players at the Vidhan Sabha. You don't accept the recommendation of the police commissioner and his officers, and you suspend them. Actually, who's responsible? If you ask me very honestly, it is the RCB which is responsible, and state government also. And now look at the state's
Who is
ego.
responsible?
Tribunal. Just a moment. If you just give me a moment, Raghav. The point is that this is the ego of the state. Now, when this guy goes to tribunal revokes it.
You're making a very important point, Mr. Vora. I just want to go back to Mr. Bhaskar Rao again. Sir, you know, it is deeply frustrating, and you've taken a non-partisan position as far as this is concerned when you say that the IPS officer will have to fight for himself. Where do you see this going? Because after Vikash Kumar Vikash, the other two officers haven't challenged, but whatever order comes from the High Court would be a precedent for the other two as well.
The state government is defiant. It seems the Chief Minister wants to appeal against the Central Administrative Tribunal's order in the High Court. And he has been vilifying the Commissioner of Police, which is very, very unfortunate. And the other officers, Dayanand as well as the DCP, did not approach, but it was only Vikash Kumar Vikash who approached. And we have all seen, I have sat on that chair. And the police commissioner commands the confidence of the Chief Minister. And it is not Dayanand or Bhaskar Rao or Megharik or Raman Reddy or Sunil Kumar who are sat on this chair. It is the institution of police commissioner that has been humiliated and insulted. I have always maintained here saying that the police commissioner is like a huge people tree under which everybody takes shelter. There are so many unwritten diktats of the Chief Minister which we carry out, and we keep so many secrets of the government within the four walls of our room. And the Chief Minister also is very frank and open with us. Now all that is gone. No subordinate will now trust the police commissioner. He will say that when you can be suspended, hamari kya hai? When we can be suspended, we are all minor.
Absolutely. Kapil Madan, you heard both the panelists out, especially Bhaskar Rao, making those very important points. Clearly, there was some knee-jerk reaction from the ruling party, especially after the stampede happened. With whatever the tribunal has said, would you accept that?
See, the tribunal.
No, I will just go back to my. I will just Vasudha. I will just go back and reiterate my previous remark. I mean, it shows what if an IPS level officer is being suspended, and let's understand, suspension is a procedural safeguard during pendency of the inquiry. It is not a final verdict of the guilt. Let's be very clear on it. And once the government takes this kind of a step, and we also know that there is an FIR against private individuals also, against the officials of RSB also. It shows what? It shows the government is not cutting any corners and they are acting without any kind of fear or a favor. And I think it's an example. It's an example where if there is any dereliction of duty,
punishment for it. The question that has also been raised is that while IPS officers are facing the punishment for it, politicians have gone scot-free pending investigation. There are serious questions. We'll leave the conversation there because we're completely out of time. There have been strong reactions, though not public, from several senior IPS officers about the concerns that they have expected.
He is a punishment for your information.
Sir, you being a police officer, I am being a lawyer. We also understand how many cases are registered by the police, and we argue it day in and day out and say that the process is a punishment.
It is a
humiliation. Police officer, you would know.
Responsibility is the question. No, we'll leave the conversation right here, but there are serious questions that need to be focused on, Vasudha, on that issue. It is something of concern for IPS officers. We'll see how that plays out. But